Mic check 1 2 3 4. Mic check 1 2 3 4. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sounds like we're good with audio. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard to Week 5 edition of the Recap Show. Solo Dolo tonight. Welcome into a new day, late night edition of high school football here in the state of Louisiana. I see a couple people in the chat already. Hey, it's a little after 12. I got Ray calling in soon. We're going to talk a little North Louisiana football because you had some blockbuster matchups tonight, folks. Hey, JB, if he's up, we're going to talk a little New Orleans football. We got major headlines. We got major scores. Week 5 is through. I mean, we have a game tomorrow night, but Week 5 is done. Halfway point of the year, done. We move and shift gears to Week 6. I want to thank St. Ed's for having us on Thursday night. I want to thank Iowa for having us tonight. What a treat to cover those two games these last 2 days. It was sweet 150 last night and it was 151 tonight, career game stream. So thank you very much to everyone that has tuned in these last 2 days and watched Under the Lights cover high school football. Hey, we are live tonight from one of our sponsors' restaurant. We're live from King's Cajun Cuisine restaurant here in Port Barre, Louisiana. They're hooking us up with some, well, hooking myself up because I'm solo dolo tonight. Hooking us up with some food tonight, and it's going to be a great show. We're in for a treat for sure. Hey, hit the like, hit the share. It's late night edition of high school football here on Under the Lights. You got some passionate fans staying up late with us. I know you had your team probably won tonight, so shout out those guys in the chat. Show some love if your team won tonight in the chat. We love to see where you're watching from. If your team won on Thursday night, show some love right now in the chat. Let's see all those big time winners here in Week 5. Gary's in Talladega. Holden's at home sleeping. Jake's in DeQuincy. Alex got his kid. Josh is at home sleeping. Chris is at work. Big Donald's still injured. And I think I got everybody. And then Holly's at home sleeping. So I'm going to ride this train tonight by myself, but you know we always rock this recap show, whether it's one person or we got 6 here on the panel. It's always a good time. Hey, we got some flying in here. St. Ed Blue Jays, big win Thursday night. Coach Shiver checking into the chat. Dut checking in tonight. Go Karen Crow Bears football, big win tonight. Hey, it was tied up there at halftime, but Bears put the gas pedal down in the third and fourth. Miss Lori checking in says, how about them Hounds from Welsh, ladies and gentlemen. So a great night for high school football here. Hey, let's check on some Thursday scores, and then I'm going to get Ray on the phone to talk a little North Louisiana football, ladies and gentlemen. Abbeville shut out West St. Mary Thursday night, 41-0. Abbeville 4-1. They're trying to go win a district title. They got a good shot this year. Coach Moore got the boys rolling over there, so congratulations to Abbeville. Big Thursday night win for those guys over there. Hey, how about another shout out in the chat tonight? How about them Westminster Christian Academy Satyrs? Homecoming night win for those guys. What a tremendous honor there. I bet it's a great feeling in Opelousas right now. DeQuincy Rose Pine. DeQuincy looking for their first win of the season Thursday night. They will get it. Congratulations to DeQuincy. I know Jake McCoy is still on cloud 9. 1-4 on the season now. Shutout win over Rose Pine, 16-0. Congratulations to Quincy. Much deserved and much earned win that night. Caldwell Parish, Sacred Heart. We said, how would Sacred Heart bounce back after the last week getting punched in the mouth? Well, folks, it would be similar results here. This one was close at halftime. Caldwell Parish came out with a vengeance in the second half. 42-7 road win as back-to-back home losses for Sacred Heart. Got to get it ready to go because they got a tough one next week down there at Catholic Appointee. District plays here, folks, for that 1A district. So keep an eye out on the Trojans moving forward, but heck of a win for Caldwell Parish on the road. Jeanerette took a perfect 4-0 record into this week. Met up with Central Catholic. We heard that Central Catholic was not the same Central Catholic. Boy, did they prove us wrong. Big time home win. How about a 21-6 victory over Jeanerette? The Tigers taste defeat for the very first time this season. Down goes Jeanerette. Central Catholic moves to 3-2 in the year. What a win. What a home win for those guys over there at CC. Hey, East Bow and Grand Lake battled it out on Thursday. I thought East Bow very improved. They were rolling. I thought they had a shot to go shock Grand Lake on the road this week. Grand Lake at home. 28-14 winners. Big time win over for Grand Lake after losing a shootout a week ago with Oakdale. So those guys get a big win before district play gets here also. And then we'll save this next one on Thursday night for when Mr. Ray calls into the show. But my name is Jordan Taylor. This is Under the Lights. This is Week 5 recap show. If this is your first time here, welcome. Usually this isn't where we set up. We're usually at the studio, myself, Gary, and others. But tonight we're at one of our sponsors' restaurant. So, hey, we enjoy coming and doing shows from our sponsors' restaurant. So shout out to King's Cajun Cuisine here in Port Barre, Louisiana. Hey, let's go ahead and get Mr. Ray on the line at this time. OHS with a big win over Leesville. Boy, was it a big time win. Shutting down Ford this week.
Hey, what's going on, Jordan?
Hey, good morning, Ray Crazy.
Hey, what's happening? Good old football Friday night.
Absolutely, my friend. New day, new hour, but the same old Friday night results where you come into a recap show and there's just some things that just jump off at you and you're like, wow, what a night of high school football. What a great sport. God bless high school football, Ray.
Oh, man, it's tremendous. It's just tremendous. We had, last night, I know you want to talk about what happened last night. I don't have all the scores in front of me. I'm sure you have them in front of you, so we're just kind of going off the dome. But you saw the OCS Ouachita score, I assume, huh?
Man, how good is OCS, man? Wow, well, 48-14 on the road. Come on now, Ray.
48-14 against a good 5A Ouachita, who's played a heck of a schedule. OCS went in there, Jordan, and just manhandled Ouachita. And let me tell you about Tate Hamby. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yes,
Tate
sir.
Hamby. He plays for OCS. He's committed to Vanderbilt. Had offers to a lot of different places, but this guy is electric. He's a state champion hurdler. He's about 6'3", can jump out of the gym. He runs a 70-yard pass route, runs away from the Ouachita defensive backs. He runs them out of frame. They have an angle on him, and he just leaves them. Turns around on defense. The next play, Jordan, recovers the fumble. The next play, they go 46 to Tate Hamby.
Come on now.
20 seconds. He caught a 70-yard touchdown pass, a 46-yard touchdown pass, and recovered a fumble.
And he does this week in and week out, Ray.
Oh, week in, week out, unbelievable. He ended up scoring, having three receiving touchdowns, and just for fun, he threw one for 60.
Hey, you can't beat it, man. What a team OCS has. I don't know who's going to beat them this year, Ray. Do they have Calvary Baptist on the schedule, or we don't get that dream matchup this year?
The next matchup they have, I believe they have a 6A that's highly ranked in Arkansas.
Oh, wow. So, correct me if I'm wrong. It's Coach Fitz, correct?
Coach Fitzhugh.
Fitz go play anybody, anytime, any place. I love what he's doing over there.
Oh, he already played. You know, they played the 3A state champions out of Texas. They're playing a 6A out of Arkansas. They played 5A Ouachita. And look, hey, OCS is 5-2 against 5A and up opponents.
Yes. Who the hell is gonna beat him in 1A? Come on, man. Oh,
It's crazy. There's no one even in their there's no one in their stratosphere. We get to play. We get the unfortunate honor. Cedar Creek doesn't play them in a few weeks, so I'll get to see them up close and personal as I do every year. So that'll be fun.
Ray, well, let's shift gears. I just talked about Calvary Baptist. I was hoping for a dream matchup this year with those two teams. I guess I might not get it unless the format goes back to the old days. But we look at Calvary Baptist tonight. We look at Calvary Baptist tonight. Welcome in a Westgate team that a lot of people have put into that state title game down the road, but it wasn't going to be easy tonight going down to Calvary Baptist, and they prove home field advantage matters in these big time games.
Man, that quarterback they have, Wardell, he's unbelievable. The receiving core they have, led by Hermes, those guys are just tremendous. That's one of the best teams in the state, regardless of class. OCS and Calvary are top, just tremendous. 15 or 20 teams, 1 through 5A. Select, non-select, put them all in a bucket. I don't care. They're top 20, and I might venture that they're top 10.
32-22, a final score there. Calvary Baptist stays unbeaten on the year. Back to Thursday night. How about the Farmers and their 1,000-yard rusher? So you think you have a fall off from Trey Holly, and they got another 1,000-yard rusher through 5 weeks, Ray. Hey, Farmers knock off undefeated Franklin Parish on the road. What a win for those guys Thursday night.
I think he's 1,100. 1,100 and some change, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
And I think, Farmerville, Union, they play some physical ball, Jordy. They play physical ball. You come down there, it's a fist fight. So, yeah, you think there's going to be this big drop-off. You lose Trey Holly, but they plug another dude in. I'm not saying you can just plug anybody in. There's Trey Holly, but there's a bunch of athletes in Union.
Absolutely.
And plug another good one in behind that line. Let's get after it. And, they're going to give their premier back 25, 30 touches a game. That's what they do. So, yeah, that was very impressive for them to beat. And, look, Franklin Parish has beat some good teams.
Absolutely. They
beat St. Frederick.
That wasn't
undefeated.
That wasn't a bad 4-0 team they beat on Thursday night.
No. No, it wasn't a bad 4-0 team at all. Sometimes there are those, but very rarely. But, yeah, not a bad 4-0 team at all. That was a huge win for Union. Huge win tonight for Calvary over Westgate. Unbelievable win last night with OCS over Ouachita. But the game of the week in the state, had to be Ruston and Neville.
Come on now, talk to me about that atmosphere at Bill Ruppin Stadium tonight. I mean, we're in a new day, my friend. I'm getting my days confused.
And man, people were telling me about that atmosphere. I have friends that have kids at Neville, and they were like, "It is unbelievable at this place right now, unbelievable." And friends from Ruston were texting me, so. Yeah, that atmosphere was crazy. It was a packed house, sold out Bill Ruppel. You know, that rivalry goes back, I think, 97 years.
Okay.
So they've been playing since the 1920s. And it's and Neville was leading 10-0 through midway through the fourth.
Man, what happened?
Neville was up 10-0.
14 unanswered, huh, Ray?
14 unanswered in maybe the last 6 minutes. I think they scored with 38 seconds to spare.
Wow.
And Ruston takes the big one over Neville, 14-10.
Didn't they do this in the last 30 seconds, the go-ahead touchdown?
38 seconds left. Yep.
Wow. Ruston, 2 weeks in a row, tremendous finishes. You talk about blood pressure, high drama.
Oh, yeah. That was the biggest game of the week. I love it when you have this is the premier game. This is the one everyone's looking at, and it lives up to the hype.
Absolutely,
and it just lived up to the hype. And then you had another huge marquee game up here that did not live up to the hype, which was Zachary and West Monroe, which I tried to tell people that, hey, I don't think this game's going to live up to the hype. Zachary's just better. And 48-7, I don't know about you, but when I see 48-7, I go, well, that team was just better. That you can't say, oh, well, if we would have cleaned up those fumbles or a couple penalties here and there, oh, we missed a tackle. No, 48-7, they were way better. And that's just the truth.
And this tonight looked like Zachary's most complete game they've played through 5 weeks, Ray.
Oh, yeah, it looked personal. That's 5 in a row. That's 5 in a row that Zachary has over West Monroe, by the way.
Wow.
West Monroe's a good team. They've gone through some drama. Everybody kind of knows about the coaching change. If you're listening out there and don't know, they had to fire their coach midseason, get an interim coach, and it's been a lot of drama around it. But they've been playing really well and were undefeated and look good. They're just kind of young. So I think West Monroe's going to be. They got that 8th through 10th grade group is supposed to be really, really good, electric. So West Monroe looks to be better and better the next 2 or 3 years.
Somebody
right now they're still young.
Somebody wants to know why Neville and West Monroe don't play each other.
Man, if somebody can tell me, Jordy, then we'll both know.
There you go.
That is a crime against humanity. Those schools are separated by a bridge and 3 miles and would be the biggest game in the state every year, almost every year, and they don't play each other. I think West Monroe feels like they have nothing to gain because it's playing a 4A opponent. And the honest answer, and I'm going to be honest and shoot straight, I just think neither one of those teams want to possibly lose that game. It's too big a deal. But it's a shame they don't play every year.
Absolutely.
So,
Ray, how far does your coverage work up north? So if I threw a game out to you, maybe you would know something about it tonight?
Maybe. I usually cover Bienville Parish over to Lincoln Parish and Jackson and the northeast part. And then some into northwest, like into Shreveport.
Okay. I had a 4-0 matchup tonight, that direction. Gina and Tioga met up on the gridiron.
Oh, yeah, I follow that one for sure.
Ray, how good is Gina?
They're real good. Real good. Gina's got it clicking, baby. They got it going. They got it going on right now.
The Giants are scary good.
Gina dismantled OCS in a jamboree. I know it's a jamboree, and I'm not saying Gina would beat OCS head-to-head in a 4-quarter game. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But the fact of the matter is they beat them 22-6 in a jamboree in a half a game and really controlled them the entire game. And they've done nothing but beat everybody that's got in front of them since then, including 4A Tioga tonight.
Absolutely. That was at Tioga to be exact.
Yeah. does not matter to them. This is a really good Gina team. I think you better be on the lookout for them.
They're scary good, Ray. Ray, I got two more for you, my friend. I want to know your thoughts on Wassman North Webster. That was a 28-21 victory for Wassman. What do you know about those two teams?
Well, Wassman's real good. Wassman played Calvary last week. I had picked Calvary to win like 48-7, and people from Wassman were getting all over me. They're like, "Oh, you don't know this defense, our secondary," and I was like, I'm just kind of blowing it off. It's internet talk. Man, they played like a 22-6, 22-8 game, something in that neighborhood. Very close, very competitive 4-quarter game. I was like, oh, wow, Wassman's definitely for real. And then they showed up again tonight and did it again. Wassman's on my radar.
Ray, through 5 weeks, give me a team or two you're most impressed with that might have a 4-1, 5-0 mark. I mean, we know about the big giants of the world up north, but who's sticking out to you that may not be getting talked about that much?
Unexpected teams, smaller teams that you may not hear a lot about. Arcadia's having a quietly good year, but they lost tonight. But they lost to Glenbrook, who's another one I'm going to mention. Glenbrook's having a tremendous year. They lost to Haynesville. That's their only loss. They're sitting at 4-1. They beat some really good teams. They've got a coach who likes to run a multiple offense. He likes to get a double tight wing tee. Then he likes to get 4 wide spread sets that really confuses defenses. He throws a lot of stuff at people. I think his name's Coach Reagan Smith. It's his first year. He took over for Feaster. Glenbrook's looking great. Arcadia's looking really good and improved. They're sitting at 4-1. They'll make some noise in the playoffs, I think, if they draw the. I think both Arcadia and Glenbrook on the select sides, or however the playoffs end up, could make some noise. Obviously, Wassman, we talked about them. They're going to make a lot of noise in 3A. They're going to hurt some feelings in 3A. They're real good. Okay. Like, they might be at the, it could be them and Gina. It really could. It really could.
And what about a smaller school like a Haynesville?
Well, Haynesville's, to me, is kind of one of those that you always expect to be around.
Right. They're sitting 5-0, if I'm not correct, right?
Yeah, they're 5-0. They beat Glenbrook. They're getting into the district like everyone else. They'll roll through the rest of their district until they get to the last game of the year, which will be against Homer, and that is one of the biggest rivalries in the country, Homer and Haynesville.
There you go.
So, Homer and Haynesville are like 10 miles apart, and that is a hate game from the word go. That's one to keep your eyes on.
Ray, biggest game up north next week. What should we expect?
Man, next week. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know which one's going to be the biggest one yet. I haven't really had a chance to dissect it. Cedar Creek's on a bye week next week, so I've just kind of got through this Friday. I usually look at Friday on Saturday, so I don't even really know who everyone's playing. Who y'all got down south biggest matchup?
Oof. Hold on. Let me pull up next week.
I'll be interested in who Union's playing, Sterlington's playing, Oak Grove's playing, Mangum's playing, OCS. I'll be interested in all the usual suspects.
Right.
Cedar Creek, of course, for me. How'd your guys do, the Red Devils?
Man, it was 13-12 with 5 minutes to play in the second quarter, and then the wheels fell off. I think it was like 56-12 final score.
It was 13-12 with how much left in the third?
With 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, and then the wheels fell off.
Oh my gosh, they unraveled, huh?
Oh yeah, it got ugly quick.
Got to go shake them up, Jordy.
Well, we got some winnable games the rest of the way, but we just got to get through that grueling part of that district.
Who y'all got next week?
Church Point.
Who, Church Point?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's back-to-back tough weeks. Just try to stay healthy.
Yeah, Cedar Creek has a bye week next week, so that'll be good. Everybody can rest up. At homecoming, then a bye week.
Let's see.
So
biggest games up north next week. Let's check them out. North Webster and Union Parish meet next week.
That's a good one.
West Monroe's going to try to bounce back against Pineville.
You know which I think is the most intriguing game to me, and I should have put them on my list, Jordy? West Washita sitting at 5-0, super quietly. Of course, I know the noise. They're 5A. They play a bunch of 2A and 3A, try to get wins before they get to that brutal district. But they're playing Washita. And I think
that's a Washita versus West Washita next week, correct?
Yeah, I think West Washita is better than Washita, possibly this year. West Washita is 0-10 all time, have never beat Washita. They get them next week. They're 5-0, catching Washita 1-4, reeling with an injured quarterback coming off a huge loss from OCS. Can they bounce back from the loss from OCS, get their stuff together, figure it out, continue the streak, make it 11-0, or does West Washita finally knock down one of the 5-2A giants?
Hey,
I bet
if there was ever
that's my storyline next week for sure.
If there was ever a year to do it, it's this year, my friend.
Yeah, and West Washita's looking great. Antonio Ford has got a couple offers from ULM and Tech. He's probably at 700-800 yards. He's a really good back. Keep your eyes on that West Washita game next week.
Hey, Haynesville, Oak Grove next week, my friend.
Oh, that's it then. That's your number one.
Hey, we might as well close the show out on that one, my friend. Get ready for that heck of a matchup.
So next week I'm going to call you, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Oak Grove, Haynesville, and West Washita, because those two are super intriguing.
And I got one more for you. Captain Shreve Airline next week.
Oh, I like that one too.
4-1, 5-0.
Captain Shreve, I like Captain Shreve. That back they have is hard to handle.
Hey, Ben Taylor is a special talent at quarterback for Airline.
Yep. So I like Captain Shreve by just a little. We'll see.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Hey, it was fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, my friend. Great week of high school football up north.
Got to go coach some 9 and 10-year-olds some playoff football at 6 in the morning.
Hey, y'all get after it, my friend. Thank you for the call.
All right, brother. Take care. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ray Crazy talking a little North Louisiana football tonight. Hey, always a pleasure getting to learn about teams from up north and just getting an extra feel about these teams. I mean, we can see scores, but when you get somebody to come on to the show and tell us a little bit about what happened. So I want to thank him for always calling in and giving us the inside scoop from up north. Hey, I got JB sitting, waiting to call in and talk a little New Orleans football. But before we get to JB, let me knock off a few of these games from Friday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday night on the Pick Show, we had Baker's head football coach, we had Centerville's head football coach, and we had Lake Arthur's stats guy on the show making picks with us. So let's check on those three teams and see how they did tonight. We start off with Baker. How about the Buffs over there? Coach Dortez, congratulations. You had a heartbreaker of a loss last week. You failed in overtime, but tonight you had the troops ready to roll into that matchup, and Baker gets a 33-8 win. Hey, big time win after coming on the show. Maybe it's a little luck, my friend. You might have to come on the show more often. Congratulations, Coach Dortez and everyone at Baker. Another guy came on the show this week was Lake Arthur's stats guy. He put on the headgear. He acted like Lee Corso. It was a great segment. We can't thank him enough for coming on down. But it was homecoming night down in Lake Arthur. And let's just say Lake Arthur rolled 56-7. I'm sure those two talented guys over there for the Tigers put up monster numbers tonight. Defense looks solid, only giving up 7 tonight to Pickering. Hey, sweet homecoming night. Enjoy it. A big time win. You get your 4th win of the season. That is Lake Arthur's. Lake Arthur 4-1 record. Couple comments here. Yes, I saw that earlier. before I got here. Coach Fusilier, former Kinder football coach, now at Jennings. A thriller of a win tonight over Iota by a 1-point victory. Picks up win number 100. Congratulations, Coach. Brayton, you hit it right there. All 3 won. They might have to come back very soon. Centerville, ladies and gentlemen. Centerville. 44-14. Let's just say last week they had a bad taste in their mouth. And those guys, those Bulldogs, they rolled on the road tonight. I'm not sure if they went Spall Ascension Christian's homecoming. I'm not sure if it was. But coming off of a loss, you know they were ready to go. You know Coach got the guys ready to play this week. Wednesday, he looked calm. He looked focused. He looked like the mindset was, we got business to go take care of Friday night. That loss a week ago has motivated our group, our locker room, our coaching staff. Boy, did he prove it tonight. 44-14 victory. Centerville picks up their 4th win of the season. Let's see. Cody says, you think we got a shot against Logansport? I know nothing about them. I heard they are pretty solid. Logansport, if I'm correct here, was in a shootout tonight with Red River, and they picked up a close win. So a lot of points scored tonight. Full of tradition over there at Logansport. So I know those guys are very well coached. They play hard week in and week out, so I'm not really sure how to go with that one. Pine Prairie, Ville Platte, both teams coming in 0-4, looking for a win this season. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose tonight. It would be the Bulldogs at home, and they rolled some more. Bulldogs 64 big ones over Pine Prairie. Shut them out at home. Vermilion Catholic stays unbeaten, ladies and gentlemen. 45-0 shutout over Highland Baptist. Westminster Christian Academy welcome in Delcom. We said Delcom, they play hard. They're very, very young. Westminster, they're improved. They are athletic. They trust in the buy-in over there at Crusaderland. And look at this Westminster team. 3 wins on the season after tonight. Those guys, congratulations. You trusted the process. You stuck the course, and it's paying off. I'm so happy to see this Westminster team doing well this season. 38-6 victory over Delcom. Westminster gets ready to go into district play. Yeah, folks, we are broadcasting live from King's Truck Stop here. I want to say thank you to those guys for allowing us to do our recap show here tonight. They're one of our sponsors on the platform. Gary's at Talladega tonight, if everyone's wondering where he is, and the rest of the crew are probably sleeping. This is late night edition of high school football recap show. Let's look at some more scores from around the state, ladies and gentlemen. The night train would roll tonight. No problems with Avoyelles. You know they had a sour taste in their mouth and how that game ended last week with Ruston. 52-14 all over Avoyelles tonight to pick up their 4th win of the season. Watch out. Night train rolls into district play, ladies and gentlemen. Basile 43-0 victory over Gaydon. I heard it was a running clock all the way from the first quarter. That score could have got ugly. Bearcats called the dogs off. Bearcats getting ready for a big district game next week with Hamilton Christian from Hanson Field. I know that field's going to be rocking. Basile trying to go defend their district title. You got a couple teams in their way. It's going to be a tough task the rest of the way to try to go repeat as district champs. But congratulations, 43-0 victory. Basile moves to 3-2 on the year. Can't wait to see those guys very soon. And then Holly's Lock of the Week, ladies and gentlemen, now sits 4-1 on the year. Last year, Byron Week, she picked Rain over Crawley. Crawley, 34 points. You usually don't lose many games when you're scoring in the 30s, but when you're giving up 68, that calls for a lock of the week. Congratulations, Holly's lock of the week, now 4-1 on the year. 68-34. Rain Wolves moved to 4-1 on the year. I can't wait to see what Emilian's stat lines were tonight. The man is going crazy week in and week out, but the whole team is that good. That surrounding party, they can go, and you better watch out for that Wolf defense come district play. Acadiana, how about you hang 70 in district and be the big bullies and go show them that we're still here to stay. 70-18 on the road at Como. I told y'all, collision course coming. Acadiana, Carencro, book it. But you know who's trying to stay in the hunt and trying to throw a wrench in everything and say, don't forget about us. You're putting Acadiana and Carencro in a district title game. You're putting them in a district title game, but we're undefeated right now. Sam Houston, 5-0. They're quiet, 5-0 right now. Nobody's talking about them, but we're going to talk about them tonight because they get a rivalry win tonight at home over Sulphur. What a win for that Bronco football team, 35-27. Broncos stay perfect on the year, 5-0. Can a win like tonight and can a 5-0 start get those guys to believe that they belong in that district race and that they can go and upset a Carencro or go upset Acadiana and try to bring a district title home? It's probably been a very long time since they've held that title, but hey, they're in the running. They're 5-0. They're 2-0 in district, so it's a three-man race right now. So congratulations to those guys over there at Sam Houston. A big 5-0 start for that program. And then speaking of Carencro, another 5-0 team. This game tonight, Nish would give them all they can handle, folks. It was 34-34 at halftime. And then it looked like Carencro got their things together in order at halftime. Probably got themselves chewed out a little bit. And they came out a different ball club in the second half. Carencro 55, Nish 34. The Golden Bears stay perfect on the year, 5-0. Hey, that team is putting up points week in and week out. They may be giving up some, but they are outscoring opponents big time, and the margin is here. So Carencro, that offense is very solid, so I can't wait to see what they do the rest of the way. Opelousas Catholic all over Holy Savior Menard tonight, 35-3. We said it on the Wednesday night show. We said that this offense for Opelousas Catholic is dang good. Their receiving core is phenomenal to watch in person. They're outstanding on the perimeter, and they can go and score at any moment, and they got a talented quarterback. We challenged the defense, seeing if the defense can go and win a game on the road and have the type of night where you can put both of them together before you get into district play. Let me tell you something. A 35-3 win on the road over a Holy Savior Menard team that's coming off of a big-time road win a week ago. So you know they had confidence coming into home tonight. But Opelousas Catholic, they're battle-tested, folks. They played Oak Grove. They played Southern Lab. They played Ascension Catholic. Those guys are ready for the rest of the season. And they might not lose again. That's just a bold statement there. They got some teams up the rest of the way. You got St. Ed's that's going to give them heck and high water later on down the season. You got Catholic of Point Complete that always plays them tough. Westminster's improved, so they might not lose again, but those three teams I said right there could be a tough task to overcome. But that offense, wow, what an offense. But defense tonight, I know those coaches over there are feeling good at now they put together a complete game. Kaplan Pirates only can win when under the lights. Does not show up to the game. I made a joke with Coach Brody earlier tonight before I got to the recap show. I told him, I said, man, we're just going to have to stay away. Every time we come, Pirates lose a heartbreaker. Every time we don't show up, Pirates roll and blow somebody out. So, Coach, I might not be able to cover a Pirate game the rest of the way, man. Good time, good job, good win on the road tonight, 34-0. I know you're excited to get that 4th win of the season. Hey, you're in contention in that district race right now. It seems like it's a 3-man race. It seems like Kaplan, Abbeville, St. Martinville, it's up for grabs right now. I can't wait to see that finish line when it's all said and done. St. Martinville coming off of a big-time loss tonight over Lafayette, so it's kind of anybody's game right now. Everybody thinks it's still St. Martinville's to lose, but Kaplan and Abbeville both 4-1 on the year, so don't sleep on the Pirates and the Wildcats. Congratulations, Coach Brody. Hey, hats off to Northside. Go and play a big-time program in Catholic of Baton Rouge tonight. Did not win on the scoreboard, but I'm sure those guys know what it takes now, and you believe in your coach. We want to see how far are we away from being where we ultimately want to be. We're not afraid to go play the best in the state. So congratulations in that aspect. But tonight it would be Bears, Kerdog Road, 42-0 over Northside. And like we talked about earlier, that St. Martinville score, it was a 56-29 victory for Lafayette on the road at St. Martinville. Not the easiest places to win in the state of Louisiana, but for Lafayette Lions to go in and get a big-time win and do it in an impressive fashion, that speaks volumes. Brand new head football coach over there. He's done a tremendous job in year 1, and I can't wait to see what he does for years to come. Miss Tammy Tupper checking into the chat. Oberlin Tigers won another. They're heating up. Those Tigers are heating up over there at Oberlin. Shut out Hamilton Christian tonight, 21-0. Get ready, folks. They could throw a wrench into everything. We thought Basile and East Bow was on a collision course, but if Oberlin keeps winning, then you very well could see Oberlin steal that district title and take it back home to their trophy case. So get ready. Miss Lori checking into the chat. It was a nail biter in Welsh tonight. Loreauville scored in the first play of the game. Welsh was up in the second and third. Loreauville was up by 1 in the last quarter. Welsh scored in the 4th with a minute left, and they got the ball back with 41 seconds and couldn't do anything else. Y'all all called against us Wednesday. Hey, it won't be the last time that we call against somebody. I mean, we called all 7. I think like 7 different teams on Wednesday where we called 7 across the board, and they lost tonight. So you're not the only ones we called against that burned us. So, and it won't be the last time we call against somebody that burns us. But that's the beauty of football. You put the football down and let the team go earn it on a Friday night. What we say on Wednesday doesn't matter. We're just some guys that are just talking a little high school football and going with a gut pick. But it's earned Monday through Thursday when those guys are out in the practice field. And on Friday night, they cash those checks in and go earn it between the lines. So congratulations to all those teams that got big wins tonight. Remember, our thoughts on Wednesdays are irrelevant. Bunkie, most impressed team through 5 weeks, has to be them. Their defense is rock solid. They're well coached. They're fast. They're physical. My goodness, Bunkie, 5-0. Another shutout tonight, 33-0 over Winfield. How about them Panthers, ladies and gentlemen? Bunkie Gina, collision course? Book it. I can't wait for that one. Congratulations, Coach Hillman over there at Bunkie. Your staff is doing a tremendous job, and your players are playing with their hair on fire week in and week out. Hey, that Port Barre Northwest matchup, hey, it was close. 13-12 at one point, and then Northwest looked like they flexed their muscles on homecoming night. Too fast, too physical, too big, and too much excitement on homecoming night. The band must have been rolling tonight. I'm sure it was a great atmosphere for homecoming, welcoming back a lot of alumni. Raiders rolled tonight over the Red Devils 56-12. Coach Edwards picks up his third win of the season. And I think it's Northwest Iota very, very soon. And that one could have huge district implications. We know it's a three-man race. We know it's Northwest Church Point Iota. But if they play next week or the week after that, that's going to be a mega game around the Acadiana area for sure. Mr. Ernest checks into the chat, says Big Tiger win, bounce back OHS Tiger Pride. Hey, that's 2 in a row. That's 2 in a row over Leesville, if I'm not mistaken, back-to-back years. So congratulations. As a talented running back, y'all shut down tonight. Coach Kirk checks into the chat. Yes, I agree with that, Coach Kirk. Catholic of Poincaré goes on the road, upsets White Castle tonight, and it was not even close. Jacob Carruth and that Hornet Ball Club silenced the doubters. This was another one. We went across the board. Everyone picked White Castle, but look who's the dummies on Wednesday night. Once again, it's us dummies, and all the other 6 dummies couldn't show their face tonight. I have to take all the heat, but it's okay. Love my panel anyway. Tonight, 4-0, White Castle falls 40-8 to Catholic of Poincaré. Boy, did we get this one wrong. Congratulations, Hornets. Well-deserved victory on the road. Keep rolling. Can't wait to see what y'all do in district play. Lowerville Welsh, what a game that was. We just talked about it, 26-21 final score. Miss Lori basically broke down the game for us, so it must have been a special night to be a Greyhound fan. It must have been a special night to see that one in person. I thought Lowerville might have the edge in this one, but Welsh at home always plays well in their home stadium, and tonight they had that magic at the end, 26-21. Congratulations to the Greyhounds. Big time win to go 3-2 on the year. St. Louis and the Swag Surfing Boys, one of the most talented teams I've seen play in 2 years. 31-0 victory tonight over South Beauregard. We said South Beauregard was improved. We said South Beauregard could make things difficult for a lot of teams in district play, but something about homecoming night and something about one of the best defense in the state of Louisiana, led by 34 seniors, or 24 seniors, my mistake. And the Saints would go marching all night long. Congratulations, Coach Mathern, your entire staff, those players in that locker room. Well-deserved win there to get your 4th of the season. Only loss this year came to somebody out of the state of Louisiana, so he's still unbeaten against Louisiana teams. DeRidder all over Marksville tonight, 42-6. Hey, DeRidder, big time win tonight. They are moving in the right direction after a tough loss a few weeks ago. So we'll see those two teams moving forward. Can Marksville bounce back now that district play is finally here next week? We'll see. And then tonight we covered Iowa Kinder. Hey, this was a 18-13 game going into halftime. Kinder was going to get the football back to start the second half. We thought if they went scored there, all the momentum would have been on the Kinder sideline. But Iowa came out of the locker room possessed, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd have seen the way this defense played in the third and fourth quarter, a completely different ball club from the first 5 weeks. This Iowa team, they're good, led by their quarterback number 7. You got some talented guys around them. You got to go back and look at that play tonight from brother to brother connection. It was a jump ball, kind of like a You Got Moss type of moment. I can't wait to clip that one because that one's gonna make play of the game honors when we post those later on. But a complete team win tonight for Iowa. They needed that win to get to 3-2 in the year. They're now 2-0 in district play. They're right in contention. That 3-3A district is loaded, and they got some juggernauts in that district. So, hey, St. Louis, Lake Charles College Prep, Iowa, still undefeated. And I think Jennings might be undefeated also. So I think it's a 3 or 4 team race right now. So we will see how that one shapes up. But Iowa, dominant win tonight at home. You call that a UTL statement win of the night? Yes, indeed. Turlings, no problem tonight on the road against Brobridge, 27-10 victory. The Preston Welch Show lives on another week. Those Rebels are something special to watch. Only one loss this year came to defending state champs of St. Charles. Not a bad loss. Can't wait to see what the Rebels do in district play because you got the STMs and the LCAs and the Westgates coming up very, very soon. Cecilia, dangerous team, ladies and gentlemen. 35-20 win over Notre Dame. That's a statement win of the night. They have played some really good football through 5 weeks. The Cecilia Bulldog team, when they meet up with OHS in a few weeks, you better have the entire state on lockdown watching that matchup because holy cow, I can't wait to see the Bulldogs and Tigers meet up. But before then, we just have to see those two teams beat up on a couple other teams before they get to each other. But Cecilia, they look like a complete team. They look better than they did last year. I can't wait for that matchup. But tonight, 35-20 victory for the Bulldogs. They're dangerous. They're scary. Scary, scary good, the Bulldogs. How about a game of the night caliber tonight? Catholic of New Iberia. Jennings is 0-1 in district. Thank you. A game of the night caliber in Unison Catholic New Iberia. What Coach DeZormo has done at Catholic New Iberia in year 1 is remarkable. You look at this matchup, you had to go to Eunice. Eunice plays well at home, coming off of a big win a week ago against Northwest. How would the Bobcats come off of an emotional high of homecoming week ago? Could you get up 2 weeks in a row? You know you got a talented Catholic New Iberia team coming into town. It was going to be a true test for the Bobcats before they got into district play. Boy, did this game live up to the hype. It was 3-1 versus 3-1. It was a packed stadium. It was KATC game of the night. It had all the marbles on the table. And tonight, it would be Rogue Dogs, Big Red on the road, knocked off the Bobcats. 36-33, game of the night caliber. When we get to the end of the show, you know that one's getting marked down. What a win. What a game. What a treat here in week 5. Loved it, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. We talked about Wassman and North Webster earlier with Mr. Ray. That was a 28-21 final. Wassman moves to 4-1 on the year. I'm gonna let JB talk Episcopal Ascension Catholic for me. I'm gonna let JB talk Southern Lab Dunham for me. Also Amy Kentwood. We talked Gina Tioga. How good is Gina, ladies and gentlemen? They're 5-0, and the Giants are starting to slay some Giants along the way. And the Giants are moving, and they're dragging bodies along the way. They're good. They're very, very good. St. Thomas More, no problems tonight over Denham Springs, 35-3. When you talk about complete teams, you got to start looking at the Cougars of St. Thomas More. They want to repeat, and they got a very good case that they can go repeat. Might be LCA STM again, man. it's just shaping up that way. It seems like it's headed that direction. I still like St. Louis. I still like a couple other teams, but it seems like it's St. Thomas More LCA on the collision course. And then Carr and Brother Martin, I'm going to let JB talk about that one. Westgate Calvary Baptist, we touched on a little bit earlier. 32-22 final. Calvary Baptist, a good 5-0 team up north. Ruston Neville, we talked about it earlier. 14 unanswered in the fourth. Ruston knocks off Neville on the road. And then Zachary West Monroe, UTL statement winner of the night. I believe so. 48-7 at West Monroe. Well, was that a fun bus ride home for the Broncos. Congratulations to Coach Brewerton. Big time win tonight. We got John Curtis Holy Cross tomorrow. Couple of undefeateds meeting up tomorrow night. Hey, let's talk a little New Orleans football before I get this baby moving any further. I'm going to get JB on the line. JB does a tremendous job with the Hash It Out show. He's going to talk a little New Orleans football, his big surprises of the night, his big wows, what happened in that area. We got some upsets that happened down there. We got some game of the night calibers. We'll just let him talk a little high school football with us. Always a pleasure to have him on because we don't really know much about that area. We try to stay around the state of Louisiana, but we don't have the inside details. So thank you to my guys up north. Thank you to my guys down towards New Orleans.
Hello.
JB with the Hash It Out show live on Under the Lights late night edition recap show. JB, are you buzzing over there where you live down there at the Shaw area? I mean, your team is rolling these last few weeks, but some blockbuster matchups and a few wows across the state of Louisiana. But it's New Orleans football talk now. JB, you got the floor, my man. What the heck happened tonight on your end?
A lot happened, to be honest with you, and I'm going to start with the upset of the night.
Come on now, we got an upset?
Well, we got a huge upset, and the city is talking. My phone was blowing up. The Jesuit Blue Jays defeats the St. Augustine Purple Knights 13-6.
JB, who saw that coming after the way Jesuit played these last few weeks?
No one saw this coming. Not a single soul saw this coming. And like I said before, St. Augustine has one of the best defenses in the entire state. But their offense just cannot get it together. And the question is, how much more can their defense take? How can you keep leaving your defense on the field for an entire game? Augustine has gotten into the red zone many times this season. 4 times against Zachary, didn't score. Many times against Endicott, didn't score. That's not going to win you ball games. And they just haven't found their identity if they want to be a passing team or live by running the football. They have to figure something out. But no one saw this happen tonight with them losing to Jesuit. It was a big shocker.
JB.
Yes, sir.
No one saw that happen tonight. If that happened tonight, what says that can't happen tomorrow night when Holy Cross welcomes in John Curtis? Tell me why Holy Cross can win that game.
Holy Cross can win that game because they have 2 talented wide receivers in Kobe Young, who's going to Georgia Tech, and Cross Johnson. They have a good quarterback in Cole Canatella, and they have a good defense. These guys play sound ball, very disciplined. So if the defense can stick to their keys and play their assignments and stop that veer from John Curtis, they have a great shot. And to be honest with you, Jordan, there are people saying that they think this upset's going to happen.
JB, when will the record be broke? Which week do you think Coach becomes the all-time leading career wins record?
So he needed 7 to break the record, 6 to tie it. I'm still saying week 8.
Week 8?
I'm still saying week 8. I think they'll be 6-0 come week 8, and week 8, whoever they're playing, they're going to break that record.
Yes, indeed. JB, Brother Morton and Edna Core played tonight.
Yes.
This was a 7-7 ball game for majority of the way, if I'm speaking correctly, and then Core pulled away late to make this a 19-7 win. What is going on with Brother Morton right now? What is going on with Edna Core right now? This Brother Morton team these last few weeks has played some really good football.
They have. They played some good football. They played well defensively also. Brother Martin had the lead 7-0 at the half. At the half, they had the lead. Edna Core, from I heard Coach Bryce Brown, he was not happy with the execution from his offense. He was not happy at all. He even said he was thinking about subbing players in for the starters. That's how upset he was. So, trust me, Bryce Brown will get on his team come Monday when they practice again. Brother Martin, like I said, got a good quarterback in Seth Daysat. They got 2 good running backs, and defensively they're very sound. It's just the thing in this matchup. The thing in this matchup is that Edna Core is just more superiorly talented than most teams. And once they got that 1 touchdown, that was all it took. That's all it takes. If Core struggling and they find a way to score, the ball is rolling out for Edna Core, and that's what you saw as they were able to respond with 19 points unanswered against Brother Martin.
What do you know about Episcopal and Ascension Catholic, JB?
Nothing. To be honest with you, I really don't know nothing about that game.
Okay. Southern Lab and Dunham?
I got something on Southern Lab and Dunham.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me nice, my friend.
I'm going to talk to you nice. So, it was Dunham's homecoming.
Okay.
Southern Lab spoiled that homecoming. With a 35-23 win. Quarterback Marlon Brown, he threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 1 for Southern Lab. Denham Hunt was the receiver. He fouled in the 4th quarter for the 25-yard touchdown pass that put the game out of reach. Very shocking because I didn't see Southern Lab defeating Dunham, even though I knew Southern Lab is a much, much better team than what they were last year. But to defeat the Division III select runner-ups at their place and for their homecoming, big time shock.
Hey, that's not the easiest teams to schedule on homecoming night.
That's correct. You were right about that.
But I couldn't agree with you more. Dunham, you expect them at home to play with a chip on their shoulder, but Southern Lab tonight proved to me at any moment anybody can get beat on any given night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, got anything on A-Meet in Kenwood?
Oh, yeah. 'Cause, we had Coach,
Under the water tower, brother.
That's right. We had Coach Zephaniah Powell on our show Tuesday, the head coach for A-Meet. And this was a defensive slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive slugfest. Kenwood jumped out on top first, 13-0. A-Meet scored in the 3rd quarter to make it 13-7, but A-Meet just couldn't get any closer. They couldn't pull ahead of Kenwood as Kenwood got the win 13-7. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the state when these 2 teams play. And don't be surprised if you see Kenwood and A-Meet make a deep run in the playoffs.
JB, Thursday night, you and your 2 hosts had the pleasure of calling a football game. I heard It was a thriller of a game. I heard it came down to.
I will speak on it. So we had the honor to call the McDonough 35 versus the Salmon Spartans. That was our our game of the week, the Hash It Out Show game of the week, and a very good defensive ball game. Salmon won 9-8. Salmon didn't score a offensive touchdown at all.
And won the game, my friend.
Salmon got a safety, and McDonald 35 fumbled the snap. The punter fumbled the snap, and Salmon was able to run it back. That gave them a 9-0 lead. Quarterback Santana Price threw a pass to Damian McLeod, who ran an out route, and then broke a tackle, and he ran down the sideline for a 60-yard touchdown pass that made it 9-6, and then they went for 2 and got it. 35 will get the stop on Salmon and get the ball back for a minute, 21 seconds. Santana Price throws a long pass, about 55 yards, to number 12. I cannot remember his name. He catches the ball, gets tackled immediately. The guy 35 runs up, stops the clock with 6 seconds left. They run a play. Santana Price face mask gets pulled, and he goes down. The flags are thrown. At the same time, Santana Price, his eye gets scratched. So he has to actually leave the game because he got injured. And McDonald 35, they send in the field goal unit, and the ball is on the 6-yard line, and Kristen Brown of Salmon blocks the game-winning field goal.
The guy y'all did the post-game interview with?
Yes.
And what was his message? What did he say at the end of it?
When I asked him how did he feel, he said, I feel great. He said, I run track. I'm fast. So I just took off, and I saw that I was way in front of the ball early. I was able to get my hands up and block it, and it just feels great because it was a hard-fought game, and just to go home with the win in a crazy game, it feels great. That was his message.
JB, y'all covered anybody tonight?
So VK called the game for CrescentCitySports.com. He called the game between Belle Chase and Franklinton.
Okay.
And Belle Chase won that game pretty big. I was watching Archbishop Shaw take on the West Jefferson Buccaneers. Archbishop Shaw won 44-6. Quarterback Mason Wilson threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for 1. Running back Jasper Parker ran for a touchdown. Wide receiver Jacob Washington, who has an offer from the University of Miami, he had 2 receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Shaw played well, getting to the quarterback in the backfield numerous times, and also getting 2 interceptions.
So what's the record now for Shaw?
They're 3-2.
Okay. District play starts soon?
District play starts next week. They will go to Algiers to take on the Landry Buccaneers.
Okay. Hey, next game for you. How about St. Martin's and Willow School meeting tonight, 24-21 victory for St. Martin's?
Hey, St. Martin's, this is really their first tough game that they played so far this year, a game that they need. But when you got Harlem Berry and he can make plays for you, it's going to be hard for any team to beat St. Martin's. And the Willow came close, but when St. Martin's needed a play, they went to their playmaker, their best player, the number 1 running back in the nation for the class of 2025, Harlem Berry. And he made a lot of plays happen, making defenders miss. And that's what got the win for St. Martin's tonight.
Next week, JB, the biggest matchups in the state of Louisiana in your area, what should we expect?
So I actually was looking up matchups for next week. What would be the biggest one? And to be honest with you, it has to be the game that we're calling, the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week. St. James Wildcats taking on Lake Charles College Prep, and it's St. James homecoming.
Come on now.
That's the game right there.
I tell you what, I know one of our guys in the chat that follows us religiously. He's a St. James alum, so he's going to be excited to hear about that.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. We are anticipating a great game between two good teams.
Let's see. I'm looking at some more scores here. Romo big win over Scotlandville tonight. St. Paul shuts out Hammond.
Hey, St. Paul is looking pretty impressive.
I agree.
Especially in that North Shore district. They are looking very, very good.
Here's one for you, JB. East St. John over Hahnville tonight, 42-37.
Ah, yes. How could I forget that game? Tell you what, Hahnville seemed as if they actually battled hard against East St. John. I thought East St. John would win big. That didn't happen. The team I thought would win is East St. John. They won. Just the fact that, to be honest with you, I don't think Hahnville got out coached in this game or nothing like that, but I just think the talent level is just superior. And when we putting the two teams together, East St. John's talent level is more superior than Hahnville. Hahnville is just not the Hahnville that we're used to, especially talent-wise. They just don't have the talent that they used to have, and it's gonna be some time before Hahnville comes back. But East St. John, they're using a 2-quarterback system. That's the first thing. They have a good wide receiver in Kai Joseph, who's going to Southeastern, and they also got good running backs. So it's a talented team. They're going to give Desmond Hand a run for their money when it comes to the district championship. But, look up East St. John trying to make another deep run in the playoffs.
The Big E.
Yep, Big E, the E, East St. John.
Anything else crazy happened tonight that you would like to share before we get on out of here?
Anything else crazy happened out here? I don't think so. I think nothing else crazy. No. You heard about Warren Easton defeated John Ehret last night.
Saw it last night, yeah. Man, what
was last night. And
they need their own documentary after this year, my friend.
Yeah. And there was a lot of talk about this game due to the fact that the rumor is, and Warren Easton accusing John Ehret of being the school that turned them in, and Warren Easton can't go to the playoffs. So man, they had over like 30 cops at this game yesterday just to make sure nothing happened. Nothing happened. Warren Easton got up to a 35-0 lead over John Ehret.
Never looked back.
Won 35-14. The coaches and the teams did not shake hands.
Wow.
They just walked off the field after the game was over, and Warren Easton won.
I'll tell you what, JB, I called a game tonight with Iowa and Kinder.
Yeah.
And it was 35-13, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look up the score. 32-13. And there was around less than 2 minutes remaining.
Okay.
And Iowa got down to the 1-yard line after they busted a big run.
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches right there wouldn't do what this coach did tonight. Coach did not go for the touchdown right there. He called the dogs off and took 2 knees and got on out there, and both teams met at midfield to shake hands.
Yeah, that's a class act.
Class act, my friend. I have not seen that yet this year, and what a move tonight from that Iowa coach to take some knees on the one right there, knowing that, hey, we're dominating the line of scrimmage, but let's play the game the right way.
That's right. Yeah, good deal from that from Iowa, definitely.
Hey, from my area, who's surprising you right now? I mean, Westgate took a tough loss tonight against a very tough, talented Calvary Baptist team, but I mean, LCA's doing what they're doing. They come off of an emotional loss last week at Ruston, but anybody else that just sticks out from my area that you're keeping a close eye on? I know who you about to say, because you got Week 10 circled. I know you about to go that route.
Who?
I know you got Week 10 circled. I know you about to go that route.
No. I think you're wrong because I was going to say Cecilia tonight.
Hey, throw them in there. I like the Bulldogs. They're playing some dang good football.
Yeah, Cecilia with a big win over Notre Dame. Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, like Cecilia. Sam Houston from
Man, Sam Houston sitting 5-0.
Oh yes, that is amazing. That's amazing. That's two teams right there off the top of my head. Cecilia with the big one over Notre Dame, and Sam Houston 5-0. Anybody else? Did Opelousas win tonight?
Opelousas did win. They shut down Ford tonight, the talented running back from Leesville.
Yeah, it's funny because you had Xavier Ford versus Deshaun Ford.
Yeah,
tonight.
The battle of the Fords.
I talked to former Leesville running back and former LSU running back Michael Ford last week. He coaches at St. Martin's. He's coaching Harlan Berry.
Okay.
And I asked him if he was related to both of them. He's related to Xavier Ford, not Deshaun Ford.
Correct.
Yeah, it just hit me, and I hit him up, and he said, "Yeah, Xavier Ford, he's my cousin."
Well, I say, well, he sure runs like his cousin.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
But tonight, that front seven from that OHS Tiger defense didn't give up much.
That's pretty good.
Other than that, Week 10, Karen Crow comes into town, my friend. You know I had to throw it in there.
I know you had to throw it in there. Karen Crow is undefeated.
Man, what are they averaging? 50+ a game?
Oh, they're averaging a lot. Somebody actually asked me today. He said, "Is Karen Crow that good?" I said, "Yeah, but don't worry about Karen Crow until Week 10 comes. Let's just wait. Let Week 10 come. Let's not worry about Karen Crow yet.
Let it get here, all right?
It's gonna be here soon enough. You know how fast this time's gonna travel."
Man, Week 6 already, my friend.
Right.
Other than that, I know you like Lake Charles College Prep. 2 big wins, back-to-back weekend district play. It looks like they're finding their groove.
Yeah, they're starting to find their groove, man. It started off a little rough with them, but they're starting to put the keys in the right door locks to open it. So it's starting to come together. But this game against St. James is going to say a lot about Lake Charles College Prep.
There you go. Will St. James go and dominate that game, or will it be Game of the Year caliber on the Hash It Out show? We have to tune in next Friday night live from 7 p.m. kickoff on the Hash It Out show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. That's true. Exactly right.
JB, any last words before we get on out of here?
Man, just appreciate you letting me come on, and it's a pleasure talking with you, giving you these updates from the New Orleans area.
JB, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for being a great friend to the platform. Thanks for being a great friend to myself.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And in 1 month, October 25th, on the Hash It Out show, my good friend right here, Jordan Taylor, he's going to be a special guest on our show.
Hey, I'll try to do you proud, but I deal with bad anxiety, so get ready.
I got you, my man.
Hey, have a good night, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too, my brother. Appreciate it.
Night, brother.
All right.
That was JB from the Hash It Out show talking a little New Orleans football for you. Hey, let's go ahead and almost close this one out. I mean, we got a couple things to talk about the rest of the way, but let's check on your comments here. If anybody has any questions for myself, leave them in the chat right now and I'll answer them for you. We got about, I would say, 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to close this baby out. You've been in the chat all night. Let's see. Joseph says, go Pirates. Ernest says, let's go Kittens. Brayden says, Abbeville traveling to St. Charles Catholic is intriguing next week. Your area versus his. I did not even bring that up, Brayden. JB, if you're in the chat, that is intriguing. Big matchup in week 9. Sam Houston travels to E.D. White. Okay. Miss Shannon Corbello says, Iowa, appreciate y'all for being there tonight. Absolute honor. We greatly appreciate the opportunity. How was the jambalaya? 1 to 5 stars. I'd have gave it a 5 if I'd have got another one to head home. But I'll give it a 5, my friend. I'm just messing around with you. Thank you, Mr. Vest, for the great hospitality. Can't wait to do it again real soon. Yes, Elton did have a good win tonight. Mr. Brennan called the game with us last night at St. Ed's. He's an alum of Elton, so he was doing color commentary tonight, so he was keeping me updated with that Elton score. So I know he's pumped up with a big win over Maryville tonight. While we wait on some more questions to fly into the chat, because I know you got 11 of you in here. If you got anything, we have about 8 more minutes before we shut this one down. Let's give out some helmet stickers. OHS versus Nish should be very interesting one. After what I seen Nish do tonight, putting up 34 points against a good Karen Crow team, it was tied up at halftime. Now I'm intrigued with that matchup. I think Nish likes to spread it out a little bit and sling the rock, and I know OHS can stop the run game at will. So will that air raid give them some trouble next week is what I'm going to be looking for, because OHS, they can score, and they can score plenty. Can Nish keep up? OPS game tomorrow, 44-41 LSU escapes Oxford. Let's give some helmet stickers away, ladies and gentlemen. Helmet stickers from Thursday night. Your first helmet sticker goes to St. Ed's Blue Jays. Live on Under the Lights. Big time showing from that offense. 30-20 wins. They earn helmet sticker from Thursday night. Congratulations to St. Ed's. They were on our show. And then Friday night, tonight we covered Iowa and Kinder. Iowa big time win tonight. A statement win. They earn helmet sticker honors. Helmet sticker honors also go to Baker Buffaloes. Coach came on the show Wednesday, so showing a lot of love there. Congratulations, Baker. Big time win tonight. Helmet sticker honors go to you. Another helmet sticker honor goes to Lake Arthur Tigers. The stats guy came on the show Wednesday night. Big time homecoming win tonight. They earn helmet sticker honors. And then Centerville gets the 5th and final helmet sticker of the night. Coach came on the show Wednesday night. I can't thank those guys enough. 44-14 win tonight. Helmet sticker honors goes to Centerville also. I think your biggest upset of the night had to have been Jesuit over St. Aug. Not really sure about anything else. Maybe the Quincy over Rose Pine Thursday night. Big time upset. Looking at these other matchups, if anybody has any upsets of the night in their opinion that just jumps off the page, leave them in the chats. But I'm looking through this and I don't really see many here. It was a good night of high school football. Some competitive games, some even records. So other than that, I think we're good on the upsets of the night. That was 2 good ones there. Jesuit over St. Aug and the Quincy over Rose Pine. And we talked about our statement wins of the night earlier. And then games of the night. You got to go game of the night caliber from Thursday. I think it goes to... I would give Oakdale St. Ed's the game of the night. It was a thrilling game through 4 quarters. If you want to throw Union Parish over Franklin Parish as an upset of the night on Thursday, we could see it happening. Upsetting a 4-0 team on the road. We can go that route. Game of the night calibers. Let's look here. I would give Catholic and New Iberia over Eunice game of the night caliber. I would give Episcopal over Ascension Catholic 17-14 game of the night caliber. I would give Ruston over Neville a game of the night caliber. So that is some game of the nights here announced on Under Lights. About 3 minutes away from shutting this baby down and calling it a weekend. Let's go into games next week. Let's check on games next week. Let's get excited for high school football next week before we close this one out. It should be October weather, should be a little bit cooler, so I know a lot of teams are excited for that. Ouachita Christian versus St. Frederick's next week. Grand Lake versus Welsh next week. Opelousas High versus Nish next week. Oberlin versus East Beauregard next week. That's a big one. St. Michael's versus West Feliciana next week. Ascension Catholic versus St. John, battle of 3 and 2 teams. Let's look at your Thursday slate there. Let's jump into Friday now. Eunice versus Ray next week. North Webster versus Union Parish next week. Belle Chase versus Newman next week. Logan Sport versus Rose Pond next week. Hanson Memorial brings an undefeated record into Jeanerette next week. St. Louis and Westlake next week. Hamilton Christian and Basile next week. Lafayette Carencro next week. Marksville Gina next week. Alexandria versus Ruston next week. Captain Shreve versus Airline. Abbeville versus St. Charles. Ouachita Parish versus West Ouachita. Brother Morton versus Jesuit. Sam Houston versus Acadiana next week. Big game. Brobridge versus Cecilia next week. Westgate versus Turlings next week, folks. That's a big one. Northwest Iota, huge district implications there next week. Lake Charles College Prep versus St. James next week. Rummel versus John Curtis next week. Caldwell Parish versus Bunkie next week. Wassman versus Carroll next week. Haynesville versus Oak Grove next week. Centerville versus Central Catholic next week, and Jennings versus Kinder next week. Some loaded matchups in week 6, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, about a minute past time. Let's close things out tonight and say goodbye to week 5 high school football here in the state of Louisiana. Hey, it's been a great week of high school football. It started on Wednesday picking the games. Thursday we called a good one in St. Ed's, our 150th. And then tonight we did a good one down there in Iowa. It was a playoff atmosphere type of crowd, so it was a thriller to see that in week 5. I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight and showing some love, staying up late with us. It's 1:30 in the morning, and you got some diehards still in the chat tonight. Thank you to JB. Thank you to Ray for calling in, talking a little North Louisiana football, talking a little New Orleans football tonight. I want to say thank you to King's Cajun Cuisine Truck Stop here in Port Barre, Louisiana, loaning us the back room to do our recap show. The hospitality has been great here at King's. The hospitality tonight at Iowa has been great. Thank you to everyone that has helped throughout these first 5 weeks. Thank you to Mr. Brendan for calling the game last night. Thank you to Josh for producing the game last night. I want to thank Holden for producing the game tonight. I want to thank Jake for calling the game with me tonight. So week 5, we close the door. We shift gears to week 6. Congratulations to all the winners across the state of Louisiana tonight. Enjoy this weekend. But you know, work begins again tomorrow, prepping for another week of high school football. Hey, we'll see you Wednesday night live from the studio. I got 2 new guest pickers coming on next week. It's going to be a wild, rowdy show. Buckle up those chin straps. Tighten that seatbelt. It's going to be a fun ride the rest of the season. My name is Jordan Taylor. This has been Under the Lights, Week 5 recap show live from King's Truck Stop here in Port Barre, Louisiana. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.